I'm Helga from Helga's Pennsylvania Cooking, and today we're going to make something sweet. Mike really likes Reese's Pieces candy, and I'm going to make my version of Reese's Pieces cookies today. Now this is a basic cookie batter recipe. You can add nuts, not add nuts, add morsels or chips or candy, broken up candy, whatever you want. You can really use this base cookie recipe to make just about any kind of cookie you would like. And I'm going to show you how to do that today. Let's get to it. Are going to be 1 cup of butter, which is 2 sticks, a couple eggs, teaspoon of vanilla extract, teaspoon of baking soda, teaspoon of salt, 2 1/4 cups of flour, 3/4 cup of sugar, 3/4 cup brown sugar, and a couple cups of the Reese's Pieces, and then my own mixture here of white macadamia nuts with broken up M&Ms and other goodies in there. It's actually left over from the Christmas bark that I made, and I want to use up, and it'll be perfect in this. First thing we're going to do is cream our butter. Then we're going to add our sugars and cream that with the butter. Then I'm going to add my vanilla and mix that in. Then I'm going to add my eggs, one at a time, and mix well after adding each one. And there goes my second egg in. Okay, so this part of the batter is done. Now we're going to do the flour portion. I'm going to add my flour here and sift it along with the baking soda and the salt. I always sift my flour for my cookies. Not everybody needs to, I guess, but I always did. I think it makes for a little bit nicer, fluffier cookie. Okay, we're going to add our flour mixture now to our batter in 2 portions. Put the first half in and get it mixed up. Now for the second portion. Mix well. Okay, so this is what your base batter looks like. Now I'm going to add the nuts, and that was roughly a cup, and 2 cups of morsels. Now, if you don't want to add nuts or can't add nuts because you have an allergy or something or just don't like them, you can omit the nuts and substitute a 1/2 to 3/4 cup of flour. That will take up the difference in the batter from omitting for having the nuts. Same thing with the morsels. If you need to substitute for the morsels, you need to take up some of that slack of not having the morsels, then you're going to need to add more flour, probably another egg. But the easiest thing is to switch out any kind of morsels or candy for the 2 cups, and then for that cup of nuts, like I said, a 1/2 to 3/4 cups of flour if you don't want to use the nuts. Now we're going to get this mixed up. they're all mixed up. And that's our batter. And there you can see it well. And you can see that the candy and stuff makes a pretty batter, all kinds of colors and stuff. Makes it fun. Plus it tastes good. So now we're going to get them sheeted up and put them in the oven. So I'm going to take our cookie dough and teaspoon size drops, put them on cookie sheet. I use parchment paper. I pretty much always use parchment paper because I like how it finishes for the cookies and takes care of any mess. If you do these without parchment paper, which you're welcome to do so, you need a greased cookie sheet for these. And like I said, this is a nice recipe because you can use any kind of morsels or chips that you want, or candy. You can use any kind of nuts that you want in it. You know, I used macadamia nuts because he likes macadamia nuts and Reese's Pieces. But you can use peanuts or walnuts or almonds or cashews or pecans or whatever you might like to make it your own. You can even play with the flavoring of the batter. You can make that with a different extract. You know, I used vanilla, but you could use anise or lemon or almond. You know, you could use other kinds. You can make this a peanut butter base with peanut butter chips and peanuts. That ought to be like a triple threat peanut butter cookie. And actually, I've made those. And maybe if you want to see how to do those, I'll do those in the future for you. This is just a nice, simple, easy one. Kids like it a lot too. So it's a crowd pleaser pretty much for everybody. And I'm going to stick these in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. Onions, ovens vary temperature, gas to electric. Mine's gas. Higher altitudes usually need a higher heat. Okay, the first batch is out, and you see how you can just see a hint there of browning around the bottom. That's all you want to see. Once again, you can see the hint just there around the edges. You don't want it any darker than that if you want a nice soft cookie. If you want a crunchier cookie, then you probably want to do them for a couple minutes longer, but I like mine soft, so that's how we did it. Don't they look pretty? So I'm going to transfer these to a cooling rack and put the next batch in. But I also wanted to tell you that another option that you can do with this is make a double batch. And what you do with half the batch you don't bake, make the teaspoon-sized balls that I put on here, but you only have to space them enough that they don't touch. Fill up the sheets, put them in the freezer, and let them freeze and get solid. And when they're frozen and set up, you can put those dough balls in an airtight sealed container in your freezer, and you've got frozen cookie dough. So the next time you want cookies real quick, or don't feel like mixing them up and having to fuss with them, you can go down and grab them, throw them on a cookie sheet, throw them in the oven, and 15 minutes later you have homemade cookies. And they beat the snot out of the store-bought brands. I'm just saying, those suck. So, anyhow, the other thing is, if you have someone in your household who likes cookie dough, they'll also be happy. However, if you do have one of those people in your household, like I do, and who will raid the freezer for the cookie dough so that when you go, you see that the Cookie Monster has already beaten you to it, and there's no cookie dough, don't tell them. Okay, I'll show you what these look like here for the taste test, because you know what comes next. Okay, cookies are all done and out of the oven. Now that batch made 4 dozen, so you know how much to budget for as far as making for people or freezing it and putting it away. And here's the end result. Isn't it pretty with all the colors of the candies? There's M&Ms and Reese's Pieces in there, and macadamia nuts. And see, if you do it at the 350 degrees, a lot of recipes will call for 375 Fahrenheit. But I always do it at 350. I learned that trick from my mother-in-law with baked goods, with the cookies, and it makes them perfect. Not overdone, not too brown. Perfect. And yes, I've turned into a cookie snob. Taste test. Look at that. As they say, as Bill Gotti would say, look at the goodness. Bottom's got a little bit of crisp to it. Inside's nice and chewy. Oh man. These are so good. If I want any of these, I'm going to have to hide some of them. And they freeze well too. You can also put them already made into an airtight freezer container and freeze them, and they will keep quite a while that way as well. Another nice alternative. Also good for shipping out to friends and family and relatives if you are so inclined. They're goners. So that is a basic cookie recipe. Like I said, you can customize it with your candies, chips, morsels, however you would like. Nuts, no nuts. Make it your own, even with the base extract flavorings. So there's some ideas for you. And I might show you a couple variations here in the future of some other ones that I like to make. But that's a Reese's Pieces nutty one for you. My little own creation. So, there you go. And it's gone. Bye. If you liked what you saw, like, subscribe, and join me next time here in Helga's Pennsylvania Cooking.